Is that a B? No, it's the Bumble blog.
Hey guys, BeFreeMySheeple.
Hey guys, welcome to the first edition of my Bumble blog, where I'm going to share some of the experiences I've had on Bumble, give you guys advice and tips. I've been meaning to do this video for a long time, but I just for some reason haven't had the time to do it. Now, for my blog readers that have been reading my blog for a while, a few months ago you guys would have seen that I posted the definitive dating app guide, etiquette guide. And basically I listed a lot of the things that people should and shouldn't be doing on dating apps, some deceptive behaviors, some deceptive photos, catfishing, all that stuff. So I wanted to make a video to put with that dating app guide and kind of talk about some of the rules and tips that you guys should follow to have a very successful and honest and transparent dating app experience. Now, I've used almost every dating app throughout the history of their existence since OkCupid back in like 2008. So I'm pretty familiar with how a lot of them work. I've tried Hinge, Happen, Bumble, Tinder, Coffee Meets Bagel, eHarmony, Match, all of them. And ultimately, the apps that I've settled on using are Tinder, OkCupid, and Bumble. So those are my three. If you see my profile anywhere else, either that account is dead and I'm not using it, or it's not me, and someone's using my photos. I don't know why somebody would use my photos since I'm not the most attractive dude. But hey, who knows? People just do some crazy stuff online. So I want to take you guys through some of the dating app tips. Now, luckily for me, I have two phones these days, so I can kind of use this as my guide as I take you guys through it. This guide goes for all genders, all sexualities. This is just a guide that all human beings should follow. I want to make that very clear. All right, so here are the top dating app etiquette tips that you guys should follow to have a great dating app experience. So, number one, always include a full body shot. Anytime someone doesn't have a full body shot, it makes us think that the person is either ashamed of their body, embarrassed by it, or they just might not have the most physically pleasing body to look at. What you have to realize is that no matter what your body type is, whether you have a six-pack, whether you have a little extra, whether you are overweight, you're gonna be somebody's type. Like, someone is gonna like you, someone's gonna swipe right on you. And if you do plan on meeting these people in real life, well, guess what? They're gonna see what you look like anyway. So in order to manage expectations and just be upfront about what you are and what you look like and what you bring to the table, always include a full body shot in your profile. So that's step one, full body shot. Number two, keep your photos updated. I can't tell you how many times I hang out with women that tell me they met a man on Tinder or Bumble and they thought the guy was 30, 35, 40, and the guy shows up and he looks closer to 50. That's really deceptive, man. I mean, once again, you're gonna see the person in real life. So why are you trying to use photos from college when you're 40s? It just doesn't make any sense, and it's inauthentic. And in a way, it's kind of a form of catfishing, because we all know the person we are today is very different than the person that we were 10 years ago. So don't do that. Keep your photos updated. My rule of thumb, try to keep all of your photos updated to within 6 months of the current date. The only exception to this is if you had some kind of drastic makeover. So I used to dye my hair blue when I had a man bun. If I cut the man bun off and dyed my hair back to its natural color, which is what I have now, I should update my profile with that look, because that's what I look like in real life. Okay. Number three, stop putting other people in your pictures. I cannot tell you how many times I'm on Tinder or Bumble and I see a beautiful girl and right next to her is another beautiful girl. And then I have to swipe and try to figure out which girl is the one whose profile I'm looking at. That makes it very, very confusing for everybody. So what I recommend is, if you need to use a photo with someone else in it, blur them out or do something to make sure it's very clear who the person is. Another good rule of thumb, and this is kind of getting superficial, but I guess that's the nature of dating apps. If your friend is possibly more attractive than you are and you're trying to get swipes for yourself, don't put him in your profile. I would not put a guy next to me that has a better body or better face in my pictures. I would try to only put less physically attractive people in my photos if I did that, which, by the way, I don't. All my photos are solo photos. So if you guys feel like putting another person in your photo, try not to, cut that out. Very confusing. Another great rule, no babies. Unless it's your baby, no babies. I know a lot of guys like to borrow babies for their photo. I guess they're called prop babies. And I think what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to trigger a woman's paternal instinct. So when they see our profile, they think, oh my God, he wants to be a father, or he's gonna make a great dad. The truth is, most guys on dating apps aren't looking for marriage or babies. They're just looking to hook up. So when guys do this, I feel like a majority of the time, it is disingenuous. And if it's not, then put into your profile, seeking marriage, seeking baby. That way it's a little clear, but regardless, I still think putting babies in your profile, unless it's yours, don't do it. Not a good look. Let's talk about height. This is one of the most common complaints by women, is that men lie about their height. Now, it is unfortunate that height does matter when it comes to dating, but we all know most women don't want to date a man their height or shorter, and the reason is simple. Women like to wear heels, so they want their man to be at least 3 to 5 inches taller than them, so when they put on heels, the man is still taller. Now, for my short guys out there, I know it sucks, but the good news is there are people that aren't going to judge you for your height. Some girls genuinely do not care about the height of a man, but there are women who do care. So I just encourage everybody, list your height proactively, because you're going to meet in real life, and when you meet in real life, they're going to find out how tall you really are. So stop lying. I will admit, I am 5'10" and a quarter, but on my dating profiles, I usually put 5'11" because with sneakers, I'm actually closer to 6 feet. So for me, I feel like I'm taking an inch away from myself, because I'm trying to balance between my sneaker height and my actual height. I put 5'11", could put 6. I feel like that's pushing it, so I do 5'11", just to be as fair as possible. Now, you guys have seen my article that humans sleep better next to dogs than other humans. Well, in general, people love dogs more than humans, and this has been proven by science. So, while I did say earlier, do not put babies in your photos, especially someone else's babies, it is okay to borrow someone's dog if you don't have one and put the dog in your profile. Huge fan of that. I think it works all the time. Me personally, I have 2 dogs, so I don't need to do that. As a matter of fact, a lot of times people borrow my dogs for their dating app profiles. So dogs, good. Babies, don't put them in your profile. This one's gonna be a little tricky for some people who live and die by filters, but no filters. Unless you're gonna show up to the date wearing that filter, the flower crown or the dog face, don't put it on your account. It doesn't make any sense. That's not what you look like. And I know a lot of people use filters to smooth out their face or to hide, maybe acne scars or birth, whatever it is. We're gonna see it eventually. So don't do that. You could take, of course, a flattering angle, you could use good lighting, you could even use maybe professional headshots, but with these filters, some of the changes are so extreme that the person doesn't look anything like they do in real life. That is similar to catfishing, so stop with the extreme filters. All right, I'm guilty of this one. I did not have a bio in my profile for a long time. And what happened was I was getting a lot of feedback from women. First of all, they don't know if I have a real profile. When your profile is blank, it looks like it could be a bot profile. So right off the bat, you should have a bio. The second thing is bios are good because they provide natural icebreakers. You can talk a little bit about yourself. Here's my bio, for example. And this acts as a lot of icebreakers. I can't tell you how many times I get messages from girls where they say to me, your profile seems really interesting, I'd love to get to know more. So put bios, it just gives people something to talk about and a starting point. When you're fortunate enough to live in a day and age where we can be honest and transparent about what we want, and there's gonna be a market that wants that. And what I mean by that is, I feel like in the past, men in general had to just be disingenuous about what they wanted. Everybody said seeking relationship, because our society was very traditional and based on relationships. We're now moving into a new era of sexual freedom and sexual liberation, where people can now be free about with what they want to get, and there's going to be a market of buyers that want that also. Take me for example. I really don't see myself ever getting married. I personally don't believe in long-term monogamy, and I make these things very clear on my dating app profile. I'm also a world traveler, so I'm never in one place for more than a month at a time. And when you live that kind of lifestyle, you don't have time really to develop long-term, committed, closed, traditional monogamous relationships, because you're always moving on to the next city. And so I find myself, there are women that see my profile and say, you know what, you're a traveler, not interested. That's totally fine. There's almost 4 billion women in the world. There's a huge percentage of those women that also are looking for a fun, meaningful, but short-lived time. And it's okay to have that and want that and look for that. I never liked the fact that we called women who slept with men sluts, and we called men players like it was a good thing, or we gave them applause. Bottom line is, men and women and all the genders and sex, we're all human beings. We all have needs. We're not two different, magically different species. We're the same creature. We just look different on the outside, and there's a few things different on the inside, but regardless of that, like, we're the same species, we all have the same wants and needs. So just be transparent about what you want, what you're looking for, and I guarantee it is gonna make your life so much easier, because you're not gonna be lying and manipulating and deceiving people. Trust me when I say this. If you tell a woman, I'm just looking for a good time, she can manage her own emotions and she can manage her own mindset. So when she meets you and goes into it, it's completely clear what the nature of that relationship is going to be. It's the guys that tell women, I want to be with you, I like you, but have no intentions of actually doing that cause drama for themselves and make women not trust future men. So let's just be honest, transparent, and I guarantee we're all going to have a much happier, better society. And last but not least, it's very important to include in your bio, or at least in conversation while you're talking to somebody, whether or not you live in the city or you're just visiting. A lot of people ask this question, do you live here or are you visiting? Because they want to quickly understand early on, what should I expect out of this relationship? If someone lives in a city, then pursuing a long-term relationship is a possibility. If someone's a traveler or just passing through, then guess what? The mindset changes to, this person's just here to have fun. And as I mentioned earlier, that's totally okay. What I tell people when they ask me, do I live here or traveling? I just tell them the truth. I live wherever my dogs are, and for the next month, I'm living in this city. After that, I'm moving on to a next city. So by being clear and transparent, you just filter out the people that want something else, and you attract the people that want the same thing that you guys want. And trust me, this is going to save you a lot of time and headaches across the board. So those are my top 10 tips for Bumble. Let me know if you guys have any questions or you have any other tips to add. I'm going to put a link in the description to the corresponding blog post, so if you want to forward that to your friends that are on Bumble, then you could do that. I'm just here to make everyone's life happier, easier, and really just encourage everyone to have more freedom. And one of the ways to have freedom is to have less drama, because drama burdens you. It brings you down, it brings negativity. So try to minimize your drama and you'll maximize your freedom, which means you'll end up being a happier person, which will make you a better version of yourself for the rest of the world. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys did. I hope it was useful. You can leave some comments below, and be free, my sheeple.
Hey guys, be free, my sheeple.